Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to Starship. Now, we haven't flown Starship in a little while, and she's probably one of the best executive aircraft available in Flight Simulator 2024 at the moment, so it's most definitely time that we do so again. Therefore, we are going to fly from Altenrhein airport, which is kind of the business airport of Zurich, over to Mykonos today for about a 3.5 hour trip. Now, we do have some beautiful weather here in Altenrhein, as you can see, a little bit of low-lying fog and generally early morning autumn weather, definitely pretty much as expected. And, well, over in Mykonos we are awaiting some lovely Greek, well, don't want to call it summer, but more than 20 degrees, so some lovely Greek weather conditions. Okay then, let's go ahead and start with our walk around over here, taking away the pitot covers, the gear pins, and then we can have a look at the engine covers, and finally also the wheel chocks. Now let's go ahead and do a little walk around to make sure that in the time that she's been parked on the apron over here, we have not forgotten about anything, or that, you know, no bird nesting and stuff like that took place in the meantime. But as far as I can see, she's actually looking pretty good over here. So looks like she's still in a good shape, and then we can go ahead, open up that door, and then start our procedures. So, very quick cabin check to make sure that the cabin is acceptable and good for our guests who are about to arrive. And that is looking excellent. Then let's go ahead, run up to the flight deck, and go ahead and load her up. So we got 3 passengers planned today. Then we can go ahead and fuel her up all the way. Like that, cover elements are removed. We're now at 14,611 pounds, which is just shy of the max takeoff weight of 14,900. Our CG is, well, at the 13.5 limit. That means we gotta put passenger to the front here. Probably 2 of them even. Well, and we are still below the max takeoff weight, so we actually got 1 passenger more today. That's fine, otherwise we would have to take one of those and put them up here, but both is going to work. So with that, our aircraft is now fully boarded, so let's go ahead, close those doors, and then we can start setting up for the flight. So doors closed and latched. Perfect. Okay, so pre-flight checklist. Park and brake is set, control locks are removed. Landing gear control is down, battery comes on, then the pitch roll and rudder trim are all set to neutral. Fuel quantities are both looking good. Alright, oxygen pressure is checked, door annunciator is already out. Then we can turn the battery back off again. So, wheel chocks removed, pitot and static covers removed, engine covers removed, gear locking pins are stowed, emergency exit secured, air stair door locked, pre-flight checklist complete. Okay, so, before we go into the before start checklist, let's go ahead and have a very quick look at our flight plan to get you guys into the loop of what we're actually going to do today. So, load those Navigraph charts, please. Thank you. Then we can view the SimBrief OFP. Okay, so departing Altenrhein over to Mykonos and looking into the weather forecast. Altenrhein, a little bit of low-lying clouds and fog. Mykonos on the other hand side, completely beautiful today. And we do have a departure alternate over in Geneva because of the fog that we have over here. Now for our destination, Thessaloniki is the first alternate and Athens is also available. And with that in mind, we've already fueled her up to the very maximum, which is going to be absolutely sufficient for the flight as well. As you can see, we need 3,400 pounds basically. We've got like 4,000 pounds on board of our aircraft. Okay, and with that on our mind, let's go ahead and go into the before starting engines checklist. So the circuit breakers on the left side are checked, down here as well, and on the right hand side are also checked. Then outbound reversionary panels, we want millibar, we don't need a flight level 180 alert because we're not in the US, and the same on the other side. So, seatbelts and shoulder harness fastened, parking brake is set, and then audio panels and microphone. So we're transmitting COM1, listen to 1 and 2, the marker beacon can go off, and the same goes for you down here. COM1, listen to both, that's looking good. Okay, static source normal, oxygen supply ready, oxygen masks are tested. Arse protection is all off, landing gear down, anti-skid on. Center reversionary panel set, standby instruments on. And they are coming up. So, the battery power on light is illuminated. Power levers, idle, prop levers, full forward. What are you doing? Here we go, power levers idle, prop levers full forward, condition levers, fuel cutoff, bleed air valve off, temperature mode off, battery on, triple fed bus 25.3, which is more than 22 minimum, center bus voltage is 23 volts minimum, ICAS on. I just love how you can hear that one spooling up. Okay, and here we go. ICAS is running. Going over all those messages. Everything is checked. That's looking good. Alright then, firewall shut-off valves. Push. Gonna wait for those to close. Here we go. Firewall shut-off valves are closed. Standby pumps on. And as we can see, there is no fuel flow to the engine, so the firewall shut-off valves are working. Then let's open them. And with that, we're also getting fuel pressure. And that's looking good. Okay, and standby pumps back off again. Now, fuel transfer to the left, looking good. To the right, looking good. And back off again. Okay, so avionic air fail message is showing. Nah. So, avionic alternate blower coming on, and the avionic fail message, air fail message is going off. Avionic alternate blower message is on, then we can switch that one back off again. Okay, oxygen pressure is confirmed, and the lights are all set. Alright, and that's the before starting engine checklist complete. So, before we go ahead and start our engines, let's actually go ahead and collect our IFR clearance here. And let me close those doors. Alright, so we have an ATIS on 123.780. Like this.
Departing runway 10. Wind 005 at 4. Visibility 2. Sky conditions, solid overcast at 300 feet. Temperature 5. Dew point 5. QNH 1013. Transition level 70, advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information whiskey.
So, information
St.
whiskey
Paul
is on
Airport.
board.
Information whiskey. 1320 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 10. Wind 005 at 4. Visibility 2. Sky conditions, solid overcast at 300 feet. Temperature 5. Dew point 5. QNH 1013. Transition level 70, advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short.
Alright, then we can go back to 121.5. And let's go ahead and call for clearance. St. Gallen Ground, Delta, Charlie, Echo, Lima, Foxtrot, information, whiskey, request startup, and IFR clearance.
Clearance on request. You're number 1.
Battery's still fine. I mean, it should be. It should really last that long.
Delta Lima Foxtrot. Clear to Mykonos via the BMK-3 Lima departure runway 10. Initial climb to flight level 100. Departure on 133.905, squawk 3621. Delta Lima Foxtrot. Contact tower on 135.43, safe flight.
Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot, clear to Mykonos via BMK-3 Lima departure runway 10, initial climb flight level 100, departure 133.905, squawk 3621, and over to tower now on 135.430. Okay, so squawk 3621 is set down here, and then let's get our startup. St. Gallen Tower, Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot, request engine startup. Engine start approved, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Alright, so engine start, and then let's go ahead, turn on the anti-collision. Okay, so then let's go ahead and do the right engine start. So right starter is on. And one is increasing. We need a minimum of 12%, but do wait for maximum motoring. And that's looking good. That looks like max motoring there. So, fuel on. Okay then, right engine starter off. We're at almost 65%. Condition lever run. So, right generator. Off reset. And we do have a load on the generator. That is looking good. Then let's start the left. Left engine start. N2. Oil pressure. And I should of course have said N1. Props are rotating, 12% is already achieved. Fantastic. So, condition lever start. And that's looking fantastic. Okay, start switch off. Reaching 65. Generator, reset then on, and we're looking at about 15% load on both sides. That's looking wonderful. Okay then. Gentie is open, and we do have the Gentie open message. Triple fat bus volt is above 27.5. Okay, Gentie is back to normal. Left and right generator tie open messages extinguished. Generator load is paralleled. And with that, the engine start checklist is complete. So let's go into the before taxi checklist. Pilot and co-pilot avionics on. Standby indicators on. Bleed air valves both. Temperature mode selector auto. Lights set. Cabin lights not required. No smoking and seatbelt signs on. Pilot and co-pilot instruments operating. Flap orbit wing mass is retracted. HRS alignment message extinguished. Okay, radar on standby, and we'll just wait for the self-test to complete down there. Okay, initialize system. That's all looking good. Initialize. So the radar is on standby. And that's the before taxi checklist complete. Okay, then let's start with our flight plan. So we're departing from Lima, Zulu, Sierra, Romeo, Altenrhein Airport. Let's bring up that SID chart now, and now we got to do a little bit of programming here. So, our initial SID, Bemkey 3 Lima, goes straight ahead to 1800 feet, then a left turn Zulu Romeo 502. And thereafter we'll fly towards Okpos. Followed by Tuzro, and that's just gonna be a lot of programming now. Thereafter we got Xasis, and no worries, I'm not gonna do the entire flight plan right now. And thereafter FTUT and then Bemkey, and that's all I'm going to do for the time being. Okay, so, total distance 479. No, that's not correct. That's definitely not correct. The only question is what is wrong. Let's see, index, trip planning. Or actually, no, that's not it. That's gotta be... Well, let's do it easy. Plan map, display. So 502 is correct, all of those are correct. Then I'm not 100% sure which one went wrong. So we got 502, that's correct. Then we're flying towards Okpos. Tuzro, yeah, that's all correct. Okay, then I don't know where the wrong distance comes from. Ah, this is where it comes from. The from waypoint is incorrect. But that's not a problem, we need to do a direct to 502 later on anyway, when we're airborne. Alright, so that's not gonna be a problem. Cool, then our FMS is programmed, and that's pretty much everything we got to do for now. So, nav source to FMS, and that's it. Okay, then let's call for taxi. Delta Lima Foxtrot, request taxi.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, runway 10 taxi via Alpha.
Runway 10, taxi via Alpha, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so left, Alpha, to the holding point. Taxi light is on, left side's clear, right side is clear. So, park and brake released, off to the left. And here is Alpha. Okay. And the park and brake is set again. Then let's do the B4 takeoff procedures, please. So, before takeoff, checklist abbreviated, that's fine. So we'll start with the procedure. So, stall warning test, angle of attack sensor goes up. And the stick pusher goes on. And we can override it. Good. VMO test, looks good. Landing gear test, looks good. Annunciator test, likewise looks good. Okay then, that much for all of those things. Then let's go ahead and do the de-icers. Interestingly enough, we don't need to run the engines up for that, as far as I can see in the procedure. So, well, then we don't. Fine with me. So, pressurization test, cabin is descending, looks good. Then, with that done, let's go ahead and set our cruising level, 350. And we are going to add 1,000 feet to that. So we are like over here. Okay, that looks good so far. Then let's do the surface de-ice test. Or not? Okay, then not. Well, we'll actually start down here. So, ice protection systems. So, waiting for engine anti-ice to come active. In the meantime, all of those over here are checked and can be turned off again. And while we're waiting for the engine anti-ice, let's already start with the autopilot system. So, synchronize the heading book, then heading mode, and autopilot. Here we go, works to the left, and responds, and works to the right. So, first click disengages, second click removes the flight director. That is looking good. Alright, cool. Then our trim is looking good. So, roll trim, I'm actually going to keep this in the center position. I think that works better than the takeoff position. Rudder trim works to the left and to the right. And back to center. Okay, everything else in the center over here is set, and then we can actually run the checklist. So, annunciators, push to test, service DS and ice protection checked, and our ice protection system itself will be turned on later. Cabin pressurization set to 1,000 feet above cruising altitude, rate knob is in the 10 o'clock position. Where is it? Yeah. Roughly is. Alright, manual cabin altitude control is normal, avionics checked and set, autopilot engaged, yoke disconnect works, pitch, roll and rudder trim set for takeoff, flap forward wing. Yep, definitely gonna get those out. I just love to see how this entire thing here is working and driving up. Here we go, looks good. Okay, flap forward wing set for takeoff, flight controls. Are checked, and engine anti-ice is verified to work. Now let's switch back to the main system and turn that back off again. Okay, so auto feather is armed, standby altimeter is set. Flight and engine displays are checked, and that's the before takeoff abbreviated checklist complete. Okay, good. So, final items are gonna be next, but in the meantime, Delta Lima Foxtrot request to backtrack runway 10. Runway 10, backtrack approved, Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, so all lights are on. Parking brake is off, then let's backtrack, bring ourselves into position. Can't see anything on either side, huh? One of the downsides of Starship is that she needs so much of a runway that, well, you can't really go into any airport. Even Altenrhein over here is going to be a bit of a problem. So this is about the shortest we're actually going to get her into and out of. Which, by the way, is also the reason why I decided to use the flaps for takeoff, which is not a requirement in this airplane. Okay, so parking brake are set. Then let's do the before takeoff final items. So, stall warning heat on, pitot and static heat on, ice protection is actually going to be required. Temperature outside is just 5 degrees. So that is also coming on. Vent and cable heat on, bleed air valves, both, transponder. Alt is on. And here we go, transponder is on. So, annunciator and ICAS messages are considered, external lights are on, cockpit lights dimmed, windshield heat low. Engine auto ignition is not required, generator loads are checked, petrol rudder trim, green and centered. And that's the final items complete. Delta Lima Foxtrot, ready for departure. So, clock onto GMT and the timer is ready.
Foxtrot, runway 10, wind 360 at 4, cleared for takeoff.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, runway 10, cleared for takeoff. Okay, ready to go? Timing. Brake released, holding the brakes manually. And we can bring up the plan map over here. Takeoff. Still holding the brakes. Okay, that's maximum power right there. Takeoff. Disregard the pitot overheat. $80 knots. Checked. V1, rotate. 8 degrees pitch, positive climb, gear up. Let's maintain that pitch. That's looking very good. So, passing 1800, left turn, direct to waypoint 502. Beautiful. I like the way she flies.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, contact departure on 133.905.
133-9R05 Delta Lima Foxtrot. Zurich departure, Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot, passing 3,400, climbing flight level 100. Okay, flaps up. Then set climb power, please.
Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot Swiss radar identified. Climb flight level 180 direct Zulu Romeo 502.
Climbing flight level 180 direct Zulu Romeo 502 Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot.
Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot Swiss radar identified.
You said that already, no need to repeat it. Okay, so climb power 90, torque 90 and 1600 RPM is set. Well then. Yacht Emperor on.
Foxtrot climb flight level 220.
Delta Lima Foxtrot climbing flight level 220. Set 220 checked. Okay, so nav is on. Speed profile on, autopilot on. Slightly to the right of the center line, that's fine. He's bringing us back to the profile. Alright, so climb checklist, please. Yacht Emperor on, climb power, set, prop zone.
Lima Foxtrot, contact Munich radar on 133.55.
133.55 Delta Lima Foxtrot. Munich radar Delta Charlie Echo Lima Foxtrot passing flight level 70, climbing flight level 220.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, Munich radar, good afternoon, identified confirmed, climb flight level 220.
Climbing flight level 220 Delta Lima Foxtrot. Okay, that's what we're doing anyway, and then let's finish that checklist. Engine display checked, cabin pressurization, monitoring, climbing just fine. No smoking and seatbelts, will stay on for the time being, lights as required. So, landing lights and taxi lights can already go off up here. Alright, so that's the climb checklist completed. So let's bring the standard map up over here, and then, well, I am just going to program the entire rest of the flight plan, and then I'd say we can fast forward this a little bit. In the meantime, engine RTO is off, definitely don't need that up here anymore, and auto feather can go off as well.
Foxtrot, climb flight level 270.
Delta Lima Foxtrot, climbing flight level 270. And set. 270 checked. So, speed's fully automatic. Well then, we're above level 100, so might as well release our guests. And then I see you all when we start our approach to our destination airport. Alright my friends, we've just descended below 10,000 feet and we are preparing for the VOR approach to runway 34 in Mykonos. Now we are coming in a little bit low on the profile, don't overspeed please. We are coming in a little bit low on the profile, but I'd rather play things safe than play things expensive by going around, and with a turboprop it doesn't make that much of a difference anyway. Talking about with a turboprop, this is just a nice thing to look at, isn't it? I really do like the looks of Starship. Okay then, let's go ahead and talk about the approach that we are about to fly. So, we're flying the Varix standard arrival, which basically Varix 1 Papa goes from Varix directly to Mykonos VOR 110.0, which we've already got tuned, active on VOR number 1, and now also on VOR number 2. Now, from here, we are going to fly the standard ILS approach, which is outbound on the 128 course until 60 ME, then a right-hand turn, max 185 knots. Intercept point for the descent is in 2070 at 60 ME, so we are going to use 2100. And, well, from there it's a 3-degree glide slope at our ground speed, which will be about 120. We need 637 feet a minute for the descent, down to 1200, which is the minimum, and in case of go around straight at 5 ME, left turn back to the station, max 185 knots. And that's about everything I got for the approach here. So let's have a look at the latest weather conditions, please. And that is 340 at 19 knots, few clouds 1200. That's not a cloud base, so we can fly the approach. And 17 degrees 1012. So set QNH 1012, please. And for that, here we go, that's 2989 basically. And that's now set on all sides. Okay, lovely. So that much about our approach preparation. Now, going over the rest of our procedures here, the cabin altitude is down at 0 already. Temperatures, let's get those under control again. They were varying between like 17 to 25 degrees during the flight. Not exactly comfortable, to be honest, but hopefully that problem is solved now, and with our landing solved anyway then. Okay, I think that's pretty much the important basics we got over here. So how about we just go straight into the descent checklist to see what we may or may not have done yet. So for the descent checklist, pressurization, altitude 500 feet above landing elevation, that's set down here. Rate number as desired, stamper altimeter set, no smoking and seatbelt signs, on, power set, lights as required. Yeah, I tell you what, it's getting somewhat late. Let's go ahead and turn on all of those lights already. Okay, so we're now proceeding inbound to the station. Let's go ahead and go over to the HSI over here. Here we go, let's quickly change to heading mode, and then we can switch the nav source to VOR number 1. Create the straight in as we are supposed to fly it, and nav. Alright, great. And then we are going to fly the rest based on the VOR, just like the chart tells us we should. Okay, wonderful. And that's about everything we needed to do at this point. So a very quick check down here, fuel. Still plenty on board. Arriving with, well, what's that like? 1600 kilograms, 1700, no problem whatsoever. So, temperature 20 degrees outside, then we don't have to worry about anti-icing or anything over here. Now, ATC cleared us down to 3000 earlier already. According to the procedure, we should cross the VOR in 3500, so tell you what, let's dial in 3500. Like that. Alright. So, Mykonos is straight ahead. And we got altitude capture. $10 to run. As mentioned, I'd rather bring this in a little bit lower, but therefore without the need for a go-around. A little bit of cloud coverage over here. Let's hope that we are going to be able to break below that on the approach. But I cannot see the field, because I did think about just doing a visual approach earlier. At this moment I'm rather glad that I didn't. Because as you can see, we would be able to get down low, but I can't see the field, so we couldn't really get below any of these altitudes anyway. Oh well, that way we are just gonna fly the standard approach, and then it's all easy going anyway. So, 6 miles to the VOR, ground speed 240, that means we're doing 4 miles a minute, so we're looking at about 1 minute until we have to bother with initializing the approach procedure. For the time being, we are airborne for 3 hours and 12 minutes now. As you can see, I did not even bother loading the approach into the FMS, because we're flying in raw data anyway. Oh, look at those wind gusts over here. Okay, I think I see the field. Is that it? Could be. Not 100% sure though. Ah well, we'll see once we're established on the final. And I'm totally honest with you guys, when flying an airplane like this, it is part of the challenge, obviously, to actually fly that standard VOR approach. So, 128 outbound. Heading. And 128 is pre-selected. Alright, we're about a mile before the station, let's go. So, passing the station, we can leave 3,000, 3,500 and descend down to 3,000. Let's do the vertical speed, it's 500 feet a minute here. Altitude alert is checked. And then we can start slowing down to 185 knots, which is the speed limit for the approach. So, before landing checklist, approach speed will be 120, pressurization is completed, no smoking and seatbelt signs. On auto feather, armed. Okay, landing gear to go. Props and can already go off. And the radial is alive again. We proceed outbound until 60 ME. Alt capture. The wind is slowly drifting us back onto the radial. You can see that I'm not even doing too much here to capture it. That's coming all by itself. So the speed is at 180. The turn is designed for 185, so that's going to be easy going. Alright, and then the in mode is going to be 332. And reaching 6 miles, down the right hand turn. When 332 is the inbound course, then we're going to turn on to heading 300. Like that. And 332 is selected. Speed is looking good. Altitude is looking perfect. At 60 ME we're going to start our descent. 2 miles prior to that I want to start the configuration. Very nice. I would not say that in the real world. In the real world I would be like, oh God's sake, this is blinding. Alright, the radial is coming in. Nav. And VOR. So, runway track is selected. Then, descent point is at 60 me. Let's start slowing down. Flaps extend. Landing gear down. So, give me speed 120, please. That's 700 feet a minute radar descent. Manual flight. Lights are on. Okay, 60 ME, starting the descent. So, next up we're looking at 5 DME, 1500... Oh. We've got a problem, Houston. We were supposed to descend to 2100, not 3000. I don't know where I got that one from, but yeah, I can see Poppy at 4 whites over there. But let me show you something amazing that turboprops can do. We'll go to idle. Just idle. We're not gonna pull beta. But look at that radar descent here. We're already catching back into the Poppy. So 40 me, 1438 feet. But I gotta admit I had a wrong mental picture here for the approach. That's why we're usually 2 pilots and airliners. Okay, so 40 me and we are on glide again. So let's see, 120 knots, ground speed is 100, so we're looking at 500 feet a minute radar descent here. And then 3D me should be 1122. Interestingly enough, that puts us onto 4 reds on the Poppies. Oh well, tell you what. We've got the Poppy in sight now, so let's align ourselves with the center line. Which is rather hard to see if I'm honest, but we should be roughly there now. So, wind is coming slightly from the right, that means it is going over the hills over there. So I do expect a little bit of turbulence when we get to the short final. Yep, you can already start feeling that. Alright, so the landing gear is down, flaps are showing extended. Here's that turbulence I talked about. Come on, sit down. Had to put her down. Was the end of the touchdown zone. $70 knots. Alright, and with that, welcome to Mykonos. I wanted to make it too smooth here, flared to the end of the touchdown zone, then we had to force it. That's the price. Alrighty, we'll be parking straight to the right hand side here. Position number 7. Now we've just got to stop here for a second and do the after landing checklist, please. So, stall warning heat, off. Pitot and static heat, off. Windshield heat, off. Vent cable heat, off. Transponder. Standby. Lights. As required. Trims. Sets. Flaps and forward wing, retract after landing checklist complete, and something that I really cannot understand is not in there, weather radar off. Because we don't want to fry our handling agents, do we? Okay, and stop. Okay, shutdown checklist. So, park and brake set, oxygen supply, push off, engine ice protection off, windshield ice protection off, pilot and co-pilot switches off. So, standby instruments off, bleed valve closed, temperature mode off, battery charged. Okay, ITT stabilized for a minute. We've already got that, and then condition levers cut off. Okay, props feathered. Okay, coming down quickly. And here we go. So, all overhead panel switches off. Then, ICAS off, master switches off. So, control locks installed, wheel chocks to come next, gear locking pins to install, and then we can release our brakes. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. My view is doing strange things here. That's better. Alright, doors are open, then let's go ahead and get the chocks. So, pins are down here. And the only one thing that is missing now, or is it still missing? Let's see. Yeah, the pitot covers and the engine covers. So those are going in place. Those are coming in place. Well, my friends, and with that, welcome to Mykonos. I hope that you have enjoyed the flight. I most certainly did. It was interesting to do such a long flight in an airplane like this. For now though, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you did indeed like the video. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again right on the next one.